Derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derp.
Octopus Prime with the Cooter Report for the Skeptic Fence Show.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bag me some horn kickers tonight.
Now this week we're going to do something a little different because I found not one, not two, but 3 clips that I couldn't decide which one to use. They are all 3 so stupid they don't require my commentary, so I'm just going to play all 3 short clips and you guys can decide who is the dumbest between these 3. Enjoy.
God help a country that is more concerned about a lion in Zimbabwe than we are 55 million children that we've murdered in a senseless fashion. How did we do it? I'll tell you how. We taught ourselves to do this. We went to classrooms where they didn't tell us that we were made by God, our Creator. They told us we were just the highest form of a scientific process called evolution. There's just one little chromosome between us and Cecil the lion. Thank God for that chromosome because it gave me a finger and I can use it to pull the trigger. We didn't teach people that you were a human being fearfully and wonderfully made as the handiwork of God Almighty. We just said that you were a bunch of cells that got mashed together and you're here by accident. Evolution is a lie from the pit of hell itself, and it has cost us 55 million Americans.
I was very disappointed in Governor Kasich's response. He got applause because he knew it was going to be well received because it was so politically correct. If you didn't hear it, he said, look, I went to a gay wedding. He seemed to be proud of the fact that he went to a gay wedding. You know, and again, it depends on what you think of homosexual behavior. I mean, that's really the issue comes down to what do you think of this kind of behavior? Is this good behavior? Is this healthy behavior? Is this moral behavior? Is this the kind of behavior that we ought to celebrate, that we ought to promote? I mean, there's a lot of events. He might have even loved people, but like James is saying, you know, if you had somebody you loved and they were dealing crack, and they were opening up a new crack house and they were having a grand opening celebration, and they invited you to come and be a part of the grand opening celebration of this crack house, would you go? Of course not. Does it mean that you don't love them? Of course not. It just means that behavior. And again, I'm not saying that homosexuality and dealing crack are the same things. I'm just using that as an analogy, as a parallel. This is behavior. You say, look, I can't support that. I can't endorse that. I don't want to send some kind of a message that I think this is fine and appropriate kind of conduct. So no, I'm not going to be able to come to the grand opening of your crack house. I love you unconditionally. And because I love you, because I'm concerned about the kind of behavior involved in, I don't want to make things worse for you by enabling you to continue in this. I am just simply not going to be able to come.
The bottom line is religious freedom. Everybody's now concerned about it. Thankfully, they're waking up to it. But is there anything we can do?
Well, I don't actually believe in religious freedom the way that the term is used. I know that when you use it and when most people use it, you Christianity. We're not talking about freedom for Islam and freedom for Buddhism and Hinduism as if they're equal with God. The number 1 commandment is, you shall have no other gods before me. And when we forget that, and we start accepting this concept of religious pluralism, and we say that Jesus Christ is really no higher in authority in America than Buddha or Muhammad or even Satan, that's when we have really dropped the ball, and we have brought disfavor from God on us. You know, ask the question, how is it that we could go 42 years with a large army of pro-life? Heard this news about the Planned Parenthood butchery that's going on. How could we go 42 years with this army of activists doing everything to stop the killing of unborn babies and barely scratch the paint on the bumper of the pro-abort juggernaut of death. If even one man, just one man, had the favor of God with the flimsiest of plans, he could have stopped that. He could have stopped the gay agenda in very short order. So what it means, we do not have the favor of God. And why not? Because we are not asserting the truth, that he is sovereign, that he is in control of America. He is the king. Think of all the patriots at the Revolutionary War who died on the battlefield with the cry, "No king but Jesus," on their lips. You know, we have devalued that blood, and of all the patriots since then, that battlefields believing that American values meant godliness and morality, not sexual perversion and killing.
What would you like to see churches do?
Well, we need to be exercising really the last right that we have, which is the First Amendment. And but that's being chipped away very rapidly. You see what's happened with the folks, the bakers and the cake makers and the printers and all these that are whose First Amendment rights are just being trampled. People being fired. The CEO of Mozilla being ousted from his position because he made a contribution to the Prop 8 campaign. The First Amendment is being rapidly chipped away, but it's still considered to be a central American value. We need to exercise that right, assert the truth of God, speak the plain truth of the Bible without apology, and be willing to take the persecution that comes from that.
So there you have it, and it's time for you to decide who wins the Cooter Award for being the dumbest horn kicker I could find. Is it Matthew Hagee for blaming the teaching of evolution for millions of American deaths? Is it Bryan Fischer for comparing attending a gay wedding to attending a crack house grand opening? Or is it Scott Lively for claiming that God is going to punish America because he's all about freedom of religion, but only if it's for Christians? Your choice. Until next time.
Cooter!
Derp 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 derp